Only when you release your desperate need for control does the gift arrive. Here is the irony. The moment you stop demanding enlightenment slips quietly through the back door. Think of falling in love. You cannot schedule it, cannot plot it, cannot demand it. It happens when it happens, often when you least expect it. Only when you release your desperate need for control does the gift arrive. And here is the irony. The moment you stop demanding enlightenment slips quietly through the back door. Think of falling in love. You cannot schedule it, cannot plot it, cannot demand it. It happens when it happens, often when you least expect it. Only when you release your desperate need for control does the gift arrive. And here is the irony. The moment you stop demanding enlightenment slips quietly through the back door. Think of falling in love. You cannot schedule it, cannot plot it, cannot demand it. It happens when it happens, often when you least expect it. Only when you release your desperate need for control does the gift arrive. Here is the irony. The moment you stop demanding enlightenment slips quietly through the back door. Think of falling in love. You cannot schedule it, cannot plot it, cannot demand it. It happens when it happens, often when you least expect it. Only when you release your desperate need for control does the gift arrive. Here is the irony. The moment you stop demanding enlightenment slips quietly through the back door. Think of falling in love. You cannot schedule it, cannot plot it, cannot demand it. It happens when it happens, often when you least expect it. enlightenment slips quietly through the back door. Think of falling in love. You cannot schedule it. You cannot plot it. You cannot demand it. It happens when it happens, often when you least expect
That was fun.
That was a nice. I heard you come in. I was like, well, I don't recall having that instrument plugged in. So what the hell is it? I had to double take. Is Tone deciding to play with us?
I have this killer Zoya patch called Cinema Everything, and
It sounds lovely.
it's just like a granulizer and I don't know what else it does, but
Right.
if I want to play single note lines, really like sparse stuff, it's great. I love it. It's perfect for this kind of thing.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And it's going to be perfect for this topic too, because for most of you guys that were here earlier this afternoon, States time, Coast time. First off, I should probably get to the list, huh, of everyone that's here.
Yeah, who's all here?
Our mics are ducking, bro.
Are they really?
I think I hear them ducking a little bit. Can you hear ducking in the mics by
I
any
don't hear
chance, Tone?
I don't think so.
No?
I hear a drone though. Is that me or you?
That's me.
Okay. It's fine. You can leave it on. I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was too loud.
Yeah, he's like, no, you're fine. I mean, it's just, we're droning is what I'm saying.
Well, I didn't know if like I was doing it and should have muted something that I didn't. That'd be funny.
Good evening, says Ohm.
Good evening.
The way he spells it is just fucking hilarious.
Ohm said he was coming for this.
Yeah.
All right, we got, let's see, Banana Rider, Probes, Uncle Chrome,
Roy Droid Void.
Brett Lemming.
Reconsider it, Sketchpad. Feel free to jump in here, Tone, if you want to see something we're not missing. Son of a bitch, you ain't doing nothing besides wearing them cocaine oculars.
The very messy Cressy is in.
And Donald Duck.
Shababy.
Shababa.
I think you guys are missing out. Tony, when you get a chance, go to Sean Barnes' YouTube channel
And check out what he's doing.
and see if you don't hear some Paul Simon on that shit.
Mhm. Brett Lemmings. Did we say Brett Lemmings? Good to always see you come back,
Yeah.
Brett.
Nice to see you back, Brett.
We got Probes. You said Probes.
Yeah, Roy, Joy, Void. Plant a seed every day.
Plant a seed every day. Word boy.
Word, boy.
Word boy.
Did I say Banana Rider?
Banana Rider.
Ayer's in. Ayer, get in Discord. Would you please look at what we've been trying to send you, Ayer? I know we're on opposite sides of the world. And for those of you who do not believe the world is round, we're just on the other side
of the world. I know it's hard to fathom, you guys. I know it.
Reconsider it. Sketchpad is in. Okay, and if we're missing someone, we're missing someone. But the Lurking Gherkins.
Sean Barnes, is that you?
Yep.
Yeah, can somebody put the Sean Barnes link up there?
I searched him. I
Wait,
just don't know if this is him or not.
I don't think that's
Is that?
his.
Oh, I don't know.
You would see him playing the up. No, that's not him.
Nah, that's not him
That's
then.
not him.
Yeah, you would see him playing. It's not an upright, but you would see him playing the fretless. But we'll get to it.
I'll find him.
Yeah,
Oh, wait.
somebody will.
I may have just found him.
Did you?
He might have been the next one.
I mean, there's probably.
It's probably 1,000 Sean Barnes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I just feel like this thing is cutting out.
No, Meryl says there's no ducking.
Okay, good. Then it's
Bass
just-
guitars and little tiny IC circuits and stuff like that. It looks like.
No. Well, is he holding a fretless?
There's one that looks like he's holding a fretless, black fretless.
Yes, that might be him. He's got all kind of gadgets and gadgeries going on too.
Gizmos.
I think he has like a djembe or something like that. He beats on.
And stink bobs. Yeah. Should be able to find them pretty easy. But so that's why we depend on people like you to get us link so people don't struggle.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. Yeah, we're struggling here.
John,
Hey,
is this you?
Yeah, there he is.
There he is.
Yeah,
There he
that's
is.
Deshaun Barnsky right there.
Look
You
at
guys
that.
get over there
See
and
that?
check him out.
I hit the button.
Hit the button. Hit the
Yeah.
fucking button.
Get the button.
That's Sean Barnes right there, people.
He just uploaded yesterday.
Welcome in Apollo Hanzo.
Get over there and check it out. He's doing great things. I'm a bass player, so I'm biased. So don't just take my word for it. Listen to yourself. And of course, he has a fretless, something I want. Maybe one day Sean and I will just trade instruments. Maybe for a couple months. I couldn't do that. Couldn't send old cord to the mail.
Yeah.
Anyways, today earlier on the workout session, I guess we won't even call it a podcast. It was just a workout session. We had an individual. I don't know if he subscribed or hit the bell or if he's going to come in, but it's really not really about that. But it is, if he's here or not. To catch everybody up, this individual name was it Frost Soul?
Is Frost Soul.
Is
I believe.
Frost Soul. My apologies.
Let me go back and see if the chat is up by any chance. Just
Yeah.
for shits and giggles.
Yep. Or somebody else could look.
I could look real quick. It's fine.
But he was having a hell of a time. Like, I don't know if you caught any of that, Tony.
I did. Not all of it because I had to do some work stuff, but yeah, I did read a little bit of it.
Right. So I guess whatever, I'm going to kind of like round it out in a nutshell, maybe a synopsis of what's going on in his life. I guess he's in a not so good area and he's being, quote unquote, I don't know, like held hostage from moving freely about his region. Was that the sum of it? And if he does try to better himself or leave the area, that it's possible they may or may not have made a
death threat on
death
his
threat
life.
on him. If he leaves, we'll kill
Yeah.
him. So he needs to stay
Yeah.
put where he is.
That's
But the
kind of what I
problem-
read.
Yeah, but the problem is he's living with, I guess, family members. And the death threat is on him and his family members. Now, if this is true.
Wait, Recon says it was about him being, what is that? I can't.
Outnumbered and harassed.
Okay, yeah.
Outnumbered
Yeah, because
and
some of his
harassed.
family was a part of it.
Right. And I guess they're in an environment where he can't really escape it. Which is funny. Okay, if this story is true, we have no way to vet this, and clearly I don't know if Frost Soul is going to come and join the live. But if what he was saying is true or not true, it's still there's still a question to be asked here. Is there any way in this current day, year, where if a person is in trouble, one cannot escape the environment and or find help? That's the big question here.
Right.
I mean, you hear stories. I mean, you got to feel for kids. Kids really don't know what to do. Even young adults won't always know what to do.
Hold on, Tom.
I couldn't pull up the chat. I looked. It looked like it's not there yet, or isn't going to be there.
Oh, okay.
And turn your mic up just a little bit, Tom.
Yeah, sure. Hold on a second.
Welcome in, Sin Samurai.
Welcome in, Sin Samurai.
You say arigato.
Like a we say.
Arigato.
Sammy.
There you go. Better.
As you were, Tom.
So you hear stories about like crazy people who lock their kids away for 20 years in the basement and people don't even know there's people living in the house, that kind of crazy thing. But I feel like kids don't know where to go. I feel like information on this kind of thing is scarce. It's not something I had ever really thought of until I read, I want to say this was on Reddit a bunch of years ago, someone basically asking exactly this, like, how do I get out? And there were a ton of great comments on, pack everything that you can carry as soon as you can, leave, go to an authority figure, whether it be, and I want to say the person that was asking for help was young, a family member you can trust, law enforcement. Get out, just get out as fast as possible, especially if you fear for your life.
Right. Because like that's the big one, right? That's the one that holds the most weight. Do we know, did anyone get a gauge of how old this individual was? Do we think he's of juvenile statute or?
I don't know. It was hard to identify.
Because I caught a reference where it said his stepdad might hold him against the wall and wash his face or do something. I just don't remember the exact words, but it seemed like it was even in the family that he was getting grieved. And if that's the case, right, me and my law enforcement self prior that's all in my mind, it's already abuse, right? I don't know how old he is, but there's things like elder abuse, there's child abuse.
Yeah.
And to me, it seemed like he has an opportunity to report the crime and never go back there, as he explains it to a law enforcement officer, and then they would in turn do welfare check and investigate the situation.
Is that Frankie?
Yeah, it's Frank.
Yeah, that was crazy in my ear. I'm like,
This is why I'm using this mic, because otherwise it get picked up. Let me shut that door. Hold on.
Yeah. So, but I think he has a lot of outlets, but I think this dude is honestly scared for his life, or he knows if he goes and reaches out to someone that there is a credible threat pending in his situation.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would literally go out of their way to go to some random YouTube channel live and just divulge that information.
Right.
But it just so happened we were speaking about being motivated.
Right.
And that there's no fictitious figure holding you down.
Right.
That it's a mental construct that you've created for yourself. So I think we opened up the perfect platform for him and his issues. So that's why I think, it was a legit thing going on.
Cressy's got a good point. I remember this. This was in Ohio. This is where that one dude was like, I ate ribs with this dude. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every day.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that.
Amanda
Berry.
When a white woman come running into a black man's arms, dead giveaway.
Dead giveaway.
Dead giveaway. You see what I'm saying? I ate ribs with this dude every day. But yeah, I mean, that dude held Amanda Berry and someone else for, was it 5+ years or longer than that?
I don't remember the full story. I remember just hearing the story about the family in California, 8 kids ranging from toddler to essentially adult, had been locked in the basement for 20 years or something like that.
I think that's what I meant. And he was having sex with them. They had babies in there. They raised
Yeah,
it was incredible. And we do not know what part of the world Frost it was in. Did we get a census on that?
I don't know, but I think Banana Rider was monitoring that comment
more than we were.
Yeah. Did he say what part of the country he was in, Banana Rider? If you even caught that. 10 years, 3 girls. He had children with them.
Yeah, I remember that.
Crazy.
And he had took off somewhere and left her unrestrained, and she was able to yell out the window. Wow. I mean, and here I don't know, this kid, I don't know. Here this kid is, and his only resource is a random live he just happens to click on, trying to help him get him out of this situation.
Okay, let's do this. Let's put our mods to work real quick. Chrome or anybody in the US in particular. Who could you contact if your life is threatened and you can no longer stay in your home and you are afraid of your well-being? I get 911 is always the immediate source, but what's the long-term look like?
The long term is you get a hold of the police, and they in turn get a hold of victims and witness, right? Depending on what the crime is, or they get a hold of some sort of outside agency. Normally, the state gets involved, right? I get the call. I call the state.
And what resources do they have for people
like victims and witness, and they have these shelters where people can go and hold out until the investigation is done. You can get restraining orders.
And are these like nonprofit organizations?
These are organizations through the state. They're being paid to do. These are social workers, right? And then you can get restraining orders on individuals while you're like, if he's a juvenile, he can get placed in a shelter, right? A juvenile home.
Yeah.
So he has resources. He or she, they have the resources. But I think this person is just traumatized by what they've been through. We don't know what this person has been through, who set that fear in someone's head to where they feel like they can't move, right?
Yeah. I mean, and we don't know how old he is, but we're just going to assume teenager, right? So at a teenager's thought process, Tony, what would you be thinking at the age of 17, 18, 19?
I mean, I was a different world. 17, I would have gone and gotten in my jalopy ass car and driven away. I just posted a link in a chat to the first thing I found, by the way. It was the National Domestic Violence Hotlines, like how to get out website. It's actually crazy. When you go into it, it gives you a big pop-up that says, the big red X in the top corner will close this website if you need to worry. And like one of the things on here is internet safety. It's basically like hey, we'll help you out, but if you need to like get out of here, click this button and it goes away. There's phone numbers. There's a text, a live chat. There's a text number there. I don't know what I would have done. I actually had when I was like 18 or 19, I had a bit of a falling out with my mom for a little while where I moved out of the house, and it was like prompted by a confrontation between her and my girlfriend at the time. And it was kind of surreal. It was the only time I had ever experienced anything like that. Thank goodness. And it wasn't, everyone was safe. There was nothing crazy that ended up happening, but like law enforcement did get involved, at least enough to like ask, like, do we need to file reports? That kind of thing. Showed up at the house and left, and everything was fine. No reports were filed. They ended up moving out of the house for like, I don't know, 12, 18 months or something like that. And, you know, there was no abuse issues. It was just like, it was a fight that got out of control for no reason, like an argument that got out of control. And it seems extreme to think about it now. I don't know if I feared for my life. I guess I could have gotten out. I don't know what other people would do. I'm a man. I'm not some large hulking figure, but I can handle myself. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've been in fights. I know how to handle myself. Man, it can be a scary world out there when you start thinking about like the people who can't do the things. Like, I'm not worried, but like I feel terrible for some dude that comes in a chat, or some girl that we don't know, some person that comes in a chat and starts saying, "Hey, I'm being abused. I'm in a bad spot." Sometimes you can't get out of there. Think about if you lived out in the middle of nowhere and you don't have a vehicle, you can't call an Uber, you can't, hop on a bus. You're gonna get on your bike and ride miles into town.
But I don't know, Tone. I mean, ask Amanda Berry that 20 years,
right?
10 years,
right?
You think she wouldn't have said, "I mean, fuck it, I'm gonna run through the woods. It's better than this."
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
But it depends on the level, also.
It depends on the level, and but like you said earlier, it depends on the individual, because we're all different individuals. We all process and do things differently. Fear is a crippling ailment that can. So look, in my law enforcement career, I've done numerous of domestic violence where women have been beaten and almost killed.
Right.
My very first domestic violence case or call was this woman who was continuously beating her husband. And all my training statistics was I was never going to have one of those calls, right? Because they're so far and few between.
Yeah.
And I already
People don't even think about it that
they
way.
don't. And I already had my preconceived notions, already had my judgments on weighing towards the female. It wasn't until something about me just said, further the investigation, just don't give this up. So I go talk to the male, and he's like completely honest. She thinks that I'm having an affair on my YouTube, or not my YouTube, my Facebook, but it's not. It's a colleague. And she always comes home and she hits me and threatens me, throws car keys at me. So I'm asking him, did he hit her? He says no, but I push her back to defend myself, and I raise my arms up to defend her blows. So I said, well, let me see your forearms. And this guy forearms were bruises like weeks ago and fresh scratches from the night, right? And this is from him literally doing this.
Sure.
I get there, she has fresh restraint marks on her wrist, right? And then so I said, okay, this guy obviously has the wounds to prove he's in a defensive position. So I stop my conversation with him. I go speak to her, and she ends up telling me, yeah, I started to punch him and this because I thought he was having an affair with me and all. So the long story short of it is, abuse comes in different sexes. It comes in different ways. And this guy eventually told me he had been abused by this woman for over 10 years of their relationship. And this is a man.
Yeah.
So how we all perceive abuse and fear, and who knows what she told him, right? I'll put you on child support. I'll have the police come over here. I'll arrest you. I'll say you did this. They're going to believe me over you. Who knows?
Yeah, but this guy, I mean, again, we don't know, but from the messaging, he seemed young. And what is it about the younger generation wanting to communicate help through social media?
That's just the way they're used to communicating. There is a clandestine aspect to being on the internet. Not everyone's staring at a camera with their ugly mugs and saying, look who I am, you know. Some people are just names in a chat.
Yeah. I always think about, I asked to send summarize something. I said, how often are you consciously aware of, being an influencer and the things you say? Do you think about what that entails on people's minds? Because we can't ultimately control how people view our content. But when he came in off of the context, I'm assuming he was listening before he commented.
Right.
That sticks with me. That's kind of haunting to see a name like that pop in, share an experience like that, and then when you sign off, you don't know
If that person's going to be okay.
right,
Right.
or you don't know if he's going to come back to the next live and say, "Hey, do you guys have any more information for me to do this?" Like, I think us as content creators and influencers, we need to prepare ourselves for
Things like that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the name. And
Well, if you have the if you have that
the
environment
environment.
setting,
Right,
Not
right.
everybody's going to have that environment setting.
And and I was deep diving in his name, Frost Soul. So I'm thinking like, oh, he's a cold soul. So what about that name? Why did he pick it? You know what I mean? And especially because of the trauma that he's currently going through, or she's going through. If this person is in tune with themselves, they're gonna give their moniker something that's representative of their life. Will we agree?
I would agree
For the most part.
for the most part.
Bicky's in the chat. Hey, Bicky. He's asking what happened. So earlier, the twins were streaming their workout, and someone we hadn't seen before popped in the chat and was chatting. And then I'm not sure what happened on the subject matter. I was busy working for it, so I wasn't listening for a few minutes, but basically got to saying he was in an abusive situation, and he or she was in an abusive situation and needed to get out. And that's essentially what we're talking about now. How do you get out?
Yeah.
If you're a kid, if you're
adult.
an adult, someone in a spot where you feel threatened all the time.
And
what do
and
you
he yeah, and he or she said that their life was on the line.
Yeah. It was kind of hard to read. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
this is
It was all
Getting
over the
heavy.
place, right? And it was
Yeah.
all over the place, which
Right.
which leads me. My gut tells me it was 100%
yeah.
authentic,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You get frantic when
You get-
you're
you get
fight or
frantic.
flight style. It's instant. You don't know what's
Right.
You get
everything's
frantic.
coming out. Everything's happening.
Yeah.
Right. Trolls, they'll play it for like two or
Right.
three chats, and then they'll just troll it. You know,
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think this is what makes me think this person was young is because the question seemed legitimate. And he wasn't really focusing in on the future of how to operate. He was focused in on, like, right now, I need to make a decision. I need to do something.
yeah. And he did say thanks, like thanks, man,
Yeah.
for the advice.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to be scared into thinking everybody's a liar. You know, I think we live in a society where we think, oh, everything is a lie. And it's just, I mean, it's just the way society is now. I mean, there's just a lot of false information, but that seemed totally authentic. And I just go back and think on my younger years, you know, where was my mindset at 17 and 18? And like you said, Tony, I wasn't raised in something so abusive and something so
Right.
dangerous. Now, when I went out in the environment, I involved myself in the wrong places. You know, I was putting myself into a circumstance which could have gotten, you know, out of control. But that was due to my own willing and guidance to be involved in something like that. You
Yeah.
know? But I sincerely hope Frost Soul is you know, considering some of the things we said.
Right. And even Royd said something that's true too. We just don't know how real it is, right? But again, it doesn't hurt to listen, because we're going to play it 50-50 regardless, especially being in this type
Yeah.
of community and
And never-
social setting.
And nevertheless, it's a great conversation.
It
to
is.
have,
It's,
Right.
it's a good conversation. Not only is it a good conversation to have, it's a good conversation that should be had. That often doesn't.
Right.
You know, people tend to wait until something bad happens, and that's fine. Innocent proven guilty. You're not going to place blame on someone until they do something. But that's not to be said that if you felt unsafe in a situation, you're going to get out of it.
Right.
You know?
It just depends on when that is, you know, like
Right.
when enough is enough.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I've only had one domestic violence case fall through where that person got to a better life. The rest of them, all the women went back. I had one close to we had the court date, right? We had the first hearing. She bailed out on it. You know, and it's like, for the life of me, I'll never understand it. But like the classes that I've taken on it, you know, the education behind mind control of these spouses, that they threaten them with the bills, the money, they're in control, you're nothing without me. You know what I mean? And that some people just eat that up and they don't know how to get away from it. So the mind is a fragile thing too.
Right. Yeah, that's right. It was like, so if you look at what Banana Rider was saying, that was the exact topic that was being had when he came into the discussion.
Speak out against that's right.
So yeah, that's another thing, especially with family and living situations. We live in a pretty polarized time. If you like really oppose the views of someone who's an authority figure in your life, like I can't imagine what that could be like. I know how I feel about things, and I know how much I would disagree. I never liked authority, even as a kid. Like even now, I find myself doing things now that I'm like, I'm 16-year-old punk rock Tony being that guy again for no reason. So yeah, I can't even imagine. It's brutal.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I think to jump back on the conversation we left off on earlier when Banana Rider said he left Washington because things were getting crazy. we left Washington because things were getting crazy. The violence ramped up. Defund the police was at its highest in that time. My truck with all my farrier tools were getting broken into in some of the lower income places, and there wasn't enough police on patrol, and it just started to get wild. And I remember saying this to that Frost kid, said, when things get ugly and you no longer want to be in that environment, you have to do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
And we moved out of the state and we moved Midwest, into an environment where it's, you're never going to find 100% safe, right? But you can find a place that just minimizes it.
Mm-hmm.
And, just be careful, but you can always put yourself in a better place.
Yeah.
I refuse to believe that there is some magical, mythical figure out there that is hell bent on setting an individual back, and they choose you as a target. I think it's a mental construct. That's not to say that this world is not balanced. We all know that it's,
It's like
it's a pretty uneven world out here right now, but it's not a weapon against you per se. You can still go out and enjoy your life.
I was just going to say that it's like soft brainwashing, where you can still do something outside of the brainwash. Like you can make a conscious choice and pursue a career and make yourself better, right? They doesn't take away that they're trying to dumb down the masses, but those that have a conscious mind that's powerful enough, you can escape those confines.
Yeah. It's a hard thing to wrap your head around when people are in trouble.
What's Bicky saying? I don't have my glasses, you guys.
He says there ought to be only one authority in your life, you.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. I mean, until you hit 18, right? You got your parents that look after you, but when you hit 18, guess what? Accountability and yourself.
Yeah. What's up, Absurd TV?
You've heard the stories. We all have the friends that like, hey, yeah, I left home when I was 18. I've been on my own since.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Or, younger if the situation was different. But like the idea of your authority figures don't have your best interests at heart and you do not agree with them on anything. People do it. How many dudes do we know that like probably went into the army because of that,
Right. Yeah.
There are ways out. It's definitely easy to be manipulated into feeling like there aren't for a lot of people. It's hard to talk about because I don't know that feeling.
Right.
At least not in that way.
Yeah.
But, oh yeah, absolutely. And it's the kind of thing that if you don't experience, I don't know how. I'm trying to think of a good like analog in my life to that. And
Well, it's a different walk of life, right?
it is like, I could say like, yeah, I feel trapped by capitalism. I don't know. I feel trapped by the fact that like, I don't have a college degree. It's hard for me to get my foot in the door with high paying jobs, but like, it's not the same.
It's not.
I'm not fearing for my life at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm fearing for a future.
Yeah.
But shit, I fear for a future when I think about the world my nieces are growing up in.
Right.
So, yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah. It's always going to be something though.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, are you capable of living and being happy and having an environment to be happy in?
That's the thing. That's what everyone deserves.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That ability, at very least.
That ability. Yes.
The options.
Right.
Yeah. And if there's anyone like watching this, I kind of wish this conversation was being had, while Frost could actually be here and listen to this, right? Because
I really hope they're lurking.
yeah, if Frost is lurking, I mean, just take the words. You don't have to take the advice, but just listen, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to be someone's counselor. No one here is credited for that. But there's a lot of old, mature minds here that could give you some of the best life experience and at least options to and this is not even for Frost, anyone that's lurking that's in here that's going through some shit, and you just got to get out of it. You at some point in life, you're just going to have to make that move to get yourself in a better place or a safe position. But at the same time, it seemed like Frost was listening, right? Because those last words he said was, thanks, man. Like, thank you. So hopefully, maybe the universe, God, whatever your flavor is, put him onto Monkey Island at the appropriate time. What are the chances that this kid surfs YouTube, clicks on us, we talk about this that relates very well with his situation, then he comes out and he speaks out about the situation.
Yeah.
Right.
And what does it say about us? That no one batted an eye to just start showing this guy nothing but love and trying to give him courage and options. So I would have to believe that this kid, this person, is somehow like reconsidering that maybe his life isn't lost, or their life isn't, maybe it's not lost. Because if my life is threatened and I can't go outside or I can't run away or do anything, do I want to sit there and die by them? Or would I rather die trying, like somebody like Harriet Tubman? Do I want to be a slave, or would I much rather hit the swamps,
dig holes,
right, and then die by my own courage of getting out of that situation?
Take some people with me.
So yeah, it's just going to come back to the bravery of someone.
In that time, if we're going to be honest, that was probably the only time in that period in time,
right,
where the white man was holding somebody down physically.
Yeah, right. That may be the only time in history where
that was the time where you could say, yes, there is a white man holding me down.
Okay, I was going to say, I'm sorry. Did I hear you say kill all the white man? I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
But now, we're in a time in the day and the age where everyone is the slave to the system. And it's not one of us who don't subscribe to it.
I don't think I could agree with you more about any of the stuff you say like that. If that was an ethos, I'm with you, man.
We're all slave to the system. We all subscribe to it. And yet, I think we just have to be, I think that was one of the things we were saying earlier, right? We just have to be honest with ourselves.
Right. And as far as the comment from Frost, as he made a comment about the rich, which Banana Rider put up there, and he stood up and he spoke out about it. That says a lot of courage right there, right?
Yeah.
For his situation, to speak up about unjust.
Right. What's up, Kent? Let us know if you want to come in and talk.
I don't want to say do something illegal, but seriously, steal the nest egg, get out of the building, get out of there.
Get out of there. I mean, I would
take
just
what you can to pay your way to get away and get away when you need to get away.
Yeah, I would just bring minimum clothes and go. I mean, it's easy to armchair quarterback, but it's like, what are the circumstances? Nevertheless, if you're a teen, you have to go to school, right? So you just don't come back home when you go to school. Or you go to school and say, this is my situation. I cannot go back to that house. Period.
They will kill me. Name one teacher or law enforcement officer that's not going to respond to that.
So I agree with you, but I think I think the kids live in a different world than we did when we went to school. I hear from like my friends with kids, the kids themselves, the older of my nieces. I think the educators, at least in America, are spread so damn thin with everything they do that a lot slips by.
Yeah.
And it's really, it's one of the things that like really irks me. I grew up in a state where at least when I was in school, hey, we have the best education, public education in the country. We rank highest in this and this and this. I learned a lot in public schools. And I hear stories from kids now and I'm like, I don't want to be the old man being like, well, back in my day, but like, seriously, it's different. And I don't know how to like tell these kids what to do sometimes.
Right. Well, we have an educator in here. Cresshead used to be a teacher. Isn't there someone else in here right now who used to or still working in the education department?
Chrome used to teach.
But I mean, that's the thing. Like, let's just think about what a teacher is in this time and day. It's probably less teaching and more raising. Who would disagree with that?
I think in the social climate, in a social school in the inner city, I think it's more raising. I think private schools and wealthy schools, it's more teaching.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
In some less fortunate areas and probably in more fortunate areas, these parents don't have time for kids and they do not want to parent. They have to work. They have to do whatever they're doing with their lives. How much of that shit is on the teachers?
I have a friend who, it's really Teresa's friend, but I've known this girl a long time. She's a teacher. She teaches, what do they call it now? Whatever they called ESL when we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
She's working with like young kids, but maybe like 5th or 6th graders, somewhere in there. And the thing she complains about the most is the parents. Now she's in a well-off part of the country in a suburban setting with plenty of money, at least in the demographics of the kids in the school. And she says she spends more time fighting bureaucracy because of how the parents want their kids treated and think they should be and all this than she does teaching the kids, and it drives her crazy.
Yeah, that's
the best example I can think of. I have other friends that were teachers. I had a buddy that worked in New York City as a history teacher. He loved it. And he loved teaching the kids, and he hated the way he had to go about everything. And now he's an accountant for a township because he was just like,
I can't blame
he's
him.
like, I can't deal with this anymore. Spreadsheets don't talk back. Spreadsheets don't have to I don't have to deal with parents.
So that even leads to the issue that happened today. Why didn't this kid, if this is true, once again, why didn't he tell a teacher?
Well, like Probe said, in UK, teachers are reporting parties. So that's true for the States too. Teacher, nurses, doctors, lawyers, social workers, obviously law enforcement, they are reporting parties. Like if you tell them that, they're under a strict rule where they have to say something. So maybe he didn't tell the teacher, he or she didn't tell the teacher because, I don't know, maybe because it's not a direct emergency source, right? He still has to go back home that day, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, there may be a sense of no matter what an individual will say, I'm still going to have to go back home. Or they're going to notify my parents.
Right.
And when they do, this is going to get ugly real fast. Then they're going to want to take me back home. And some of these parents are under a lot of stress. Some of these parents don't even want to be parents.
Right.
Some of these parents are crazy as all get out. Some of these parents are abusive. How do you know a parent won't play nice in the authority's face, but as soon as they get this kid home, it's on a 9 o'clock news the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I caught that. I guess people are wondering how he found our channel. And I'm going to say the verticals, we've been getting a lot of new people from vertical live views, and people have just been coming in left and right. Like, look at the last workout video. I think it was at 1,000 views, right?
Right.
So
yeah. And the samurai was telling us this, like, you guys go vert, just do the verticals,
right.
Do more of those. See, it's true. We got 1,000 on one, over 500 on another, and 300 here. We were starting to pick up different varieties of minds.
Yeah, and you will get somewhat local stuff. I don't mean necessarily people in your town, but like the whole idea of like, oh, you know, my phone's listening to me, and maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but the reason two people will see the same thing on the internet around the same time is just a matter of how internet cookies work. Google knows you as a digit and me as a digit, and if we're in the same space and it knows we both have something to do with music, we're going to do the same thing, and that's why you get fed things, especially from, you know, Papa Alphabet, who really knows everything we do all the time. But that's why I'm saying I would guess he or she in the States,
Right.
somewhat local, probably has watched random live streams, maybe musical ones, maybe workout ones.
Yeah.
But the algo knows enough to know that this person might watch this. Let me put it in their feed.
Yes,
Yeah,
I agree with you.
that.
And just read what Roy Joy Voice said. I know someone in that situation where I was like, oh, this dude can't go back home.
Yeah.
This dude cannot go back home. You can stay in my garage. I won't tell my mom I've done that shit before.
Yeah.
Until you can figure it out.
Yep.
And
Brought
what
the dude my dinner and everything.
sometimes, you know, a parent will think, oh, I've got control of this kid if this is the situation. We don't know. But a parent thinks they have control of a kid, and the second they find out that kid's talking to someone that's saying something a little oi, you're not hearing that kid. Those kids aren't communicating anymore. People in power know how to keep their underlings
Under control.
Yeah.
And pumped with fear.
Abusive ones anyway.
Right. Yeah.
What is that sounds and can you read that tone? That sounds and samples.
It is not a break of trust or confidentiality. They need to interfere to save a life potentially. But if you know that and won't accept nobody to stop you, and you just want to share and feel connected in your last time on earth, people who are actually very certain that they don't want to live might try socializing for a while. If they happen to find a place in people that, oh my God, he keeps typing. Kind of understand. Yeah, what he's getting at is like, if you know you're in a spot and you don't want to live anymore, or you don't want, I'm guessing this is what he's getting at, that you reach out. And that's definitely true. I've heard that as well. People that are in a self-harm situation will, you know, just try to talk to someone before, I guess. It's kind of crazy to me, but
Before the inevitable.
it is a thing, right? It is a thing.
I mean, here's the scary part. That could have very well been this person's SOS.
Sure.
Right? I mean, we just don't know. And I really tried my best to choose the words to say and not come off as some like, you should do this, you should do that, and then be responsible for like something really bad happening to this individual.
Yeah.
I made sure to say, this is your choice.
Yeah.
You know, these are just options. This is your choice.
I do agree with you that it felt very much like he or she happened into the chat, probably sees two big dudes working out, displaying strength, saying, we worked in law enforcement, saying, you got to take care of yourself, and going, oh, yeah, I got to take care of myself. I got to get out of a bad situation. Hey, I'm in a bad situation. What should I do?
That's how I would do it, though, honestly, Tone. If I'm in that situation, now that you said that, I mean, that's how I would do it.
I mean, there is a sense of security there, you know?
No one knows about it. My family doesn't know this channel. It
Yeah.
can't get back to them. And if I really need to know how to get out of this shit, why not ask these two?
Yeah, that are talking about it.
Right.
And pumping iron and looking tough as nails. No offense or anything like that. But
Yeah.
if you happen upon that stream, you'd be like, whoa, look at these guys. Mike Tyson push-ups? What the hell is that?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, shit.
and
I didn't even think about that. I
Right.
didn't think about that shit.
I didn't either until just now.
Right. But here's how my mind takes it because of my upbringing and my past life story. My mind put me that this person is in a ghetto setting.
Sure.
Because that's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
This person could be in a well-off neighborhood with probably better financial situation than most.
Right.
I never thought about that setting. I'm always like the doom and gloom.
You never know, the spoiled rich kids like, hey, Dad, you should give your money away instead of hoarding it from the people that work for you or something like that.
Right? And then he gets shot down.
Right. You don't know.
You don't know.
Like, do you think there's a difference between wealthy kids who have everything? This may sound dumb, but just think about it. Between rich kids who have everything and lower poverty kids who essentially have nothing. What's the contrast there?
I can really speak to this. I grew up until I was 15 years old. I lived in a town that was low income, very diverse, almost inner city, not quite, but just on the edge of inner city style living. And then I moved to one of the wealthiest towns in the country. Mm-hmm. So I had that culture shock. I remember hanging out with all the rich white kids and going, I don't like this at all.
Elaborate more with that, Tone. You gotta paint that picture of like, so what was the dichotomy there? What were you doing in the inner city?
What was that big emotion? I don't like this at all.
I didn't fit in right away. It's culturally, I didn't understand many of the people I was talking to all of a sudden. You know, I grew up with friends of all color and the low to middle income way of life. That's just what it was for me. And then all of a sudden, you know, really uptight people who got everything handed to them, and some were great. I still have friends from that I met in those first couple of days moving into that rich neighborhood. I was just talking to one right before the stream started. But many people that I met, they were like shitty about how much better they thought they were. Mm-hmm. And it's not a matter of like some kid picking on me going, I'm better than you because I'm rich and you're not. It was more just like a way of going about their life that like oozes that feeling. At least to me it did. Let me paint the picture more. I'm trying to think of a good example.
What were the like the like simple shit, like the lunch situation? What was the food like? Did you even notice?
Yeah. The lunchroom in Oyster Bay was a little more, a little. It wasn't fancier, but it felt freer. You know, you ever go to eat at? You've been to Sweetwater. You go and eat there, mm-hmm. and they have like that crazy cafeteria area. Mm-hmm. It was like coming from a lunchroom school lunch line to that, and it wasn't. Wow. It wasn't that and not the food. It was just like the feel of it.
Mm-hmm. The atmosphere was much more
like
appetizing. No pun.
Right, and the air of like, I don't need this from the people. Like whatever. This is just the lunchroom, not like, hey, this is where you get your sustenance. You're not eating again till dinner, so. You know, kids would just like not eat lunch and go down to the pizzeria down the street and spend $10 like every day after school. And I mean, maybe that doesn't seem like a lot now, but in like the late 90s, mm-hmm. for a kid who didn't have a job and had a single parent in the home, that wasn't something I could do.
Right.
My high school in that town looks like a high school out of like a high school movie. Beautiful brick and stone facade, giant front lawn with trees and like this nice setting and this nice neighborhood compared to the one in the town I lived in prior, which was in its own way a beautiful building, but like didn't feel the same. It didn't feel like a college campus. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
My high school felt like a college campus. Nice.
Yeah.
My friends, Teresa said it the best. Like she'd hear the stories me and my friends would tell about the shenanigans we got into when we were in high school. And she was like, you guys lived a teen movie. You lived that. And like, I look back on it and I totally did. Like, I'm very grateful for the place I lived in and the people I grew up with and like the safety of it and the ease of it, which is exactly the reason why I reject most of that shit now. Because it's like, we could all have that and we don't.
Right.
And that sucks.
And that
sucks.
Well, and we're looking at that as far as statistics of success versus more of a struggle because it's hard to find success. You know what I'm saying? When you have to face other things too, like a impoverished neighborhood, gangs and drugs and other things that tally more on the table that you have to weave through to find success. Not saying it can't happen, but in a richer aspect of it, or more just a more wealthy upbringing, you have the adequate meals. Everyone there is on the same page. It's a safe environment.
So okay. Merrill Darrell is saying it's important not to compare stresses or problems between financial strength or weaknesses. At the end of the day, we all struggling with something.
Yeah,
so
true.
You guys have talked about this and in a way, and like earlier you mentioned, like anyone can get out if you want to get out.
If you want to get out.
Right. And I don't disagree with that. But there is that nuance, there is that gray area where what Lamar just said, there are situations that make it easier, that open up the avenues or close them off, that are hard to discount. And I don't disagree with Marilyn at all. She's right.
Yep.
It's so nuanced and so individual.
It is.
When
the majority of your friends,
there's so much gray area there.
When the majority of your friends in a well-off environment, a rich environment, when their goals, because of their upbringing, right, are like, let's go home, do our homework, let's get study groups, let's do this and this. Everything is in a success format because they know no different.
Right.
And that's not their fault, right? And then you have the other side where it's just like, yo, you want to go get high afterwards? And I'm not saying everybody, but majority of it in inner city structures is this and that, party, this and that. Very few are like homework and, because of their upbringing. And it's hard. You have a lot of challenge. Not to say it can't be done, but there's always going to be a challenge, right? And it just goes to show that there's a vast difference. I mean, and Tony proves the point. He came from that and was culture shocked. Like, I don't feel comfortable with you, motherfuckers.
I was literally like, "What's up with these white people? This is so weird to me."
Yeah. Like, y'all have no. Here's the unfortunate part.
I mean, but
wait, real quick. Here's the unfortunate part. Some of these rich students, they're missing out on a very important life about what it's like to be with less.
Oh yeah.
Right? And then you have these students that have less that are missing out on a very important life, what it's like to have more. And with that said, both sides are being cheated at this point.
They are. I have friends and family who like have no clue what a struggle is. Like none. And it shapes their worldview many times not for the better. And I don't wish bad upon anyone. But I sometimes wish you can experience what it's like to worry about that stuff, because I feel like people could really learn a lot by walking in someone else's shoes. No one ever wants to.
Yeah, okay, but I'm gonna have to fight back a little bit on that. It's not that I totally don't disagree. Okay? But hang on, I lost my train of thought. Hang on one second.
I want to read what people are saying because people are commenting on this. what about football and marching band? Man, I played football and I was in the marching band, and I never wanted to march, Chrome. I just wanted to, like, I pretended I had to go away for this one march that we had to do, so I didn't have to put that stupid outfit on and march and play the stupid trumpet.
Okay. My mother told me something when I was young. It always stuck with me. And she goes, or she says, to be on the top, you got to stay on the top.
Yeah.
And she knows people that have more stress than poor people, because you always have to make that money to stay on top, to have that comfort, and you will do anything to stay up there. And that stress is the same as trying to get on the top.
I have a relative that's being fucking eaten alive by that stress. He's a couple of years younger than me, and he's never had to struggle in his life, and he runs a business that makes untold amounts of money, and he just, like, is becoming a miserable person, and, like, he has nothing to be miserable about except for the paper chase, and I feel so badly for him, and it's warped him so much that I couldn't even have this conversation with him about it if I wanted to. He would reject it so fast. Like, I've tried to, like, when I do talk to him, I've tried to push it on him a little bit. Hey, man, sell the business and go spend a year surfing in Venezuela like you did that one time when you were 18 or whatever the fuck it is. He was an artist, he was an athlete, and now he's just a grumpy middle-aged man who hates everything.
And that was the thing that Meryl said, right? It don't matter. We all have something.
We all have
to
it.
struggle
Sucks,
with.
Right.
You could be rich and on top of the world, and like he just said, if you can't maintain that, the fear of going to be with my brother and Meryl and people that are less fortunate,
Like us, and that's not poor. That's just middle. That's just what used to be middle class.
Right.
That will send most people to a suicide or an early grave to have to go down to this level.
Right.
And so here's the thing too. My wife and I, we watched a Netflix series called Wednesday Addams.
Okay.
And on now, I mean, I like to deep dive and get subliminal.
No,
and
it's
we
okay.
know you guys know Adam's
smoke a
family.
little herb and go in.
I'm really interested in where you're going to go with this.
Okay, so we watched an episode, and the wife knows what I'm talking about if she's listening. And in this particular episode, because there was a whole lot of things going on prior, there was a spell casted on Wednesday Addams and her friend, and they had to switch bodies. And they didn't know how to get back. The only way they got back into their own bodies is when they understood what the other was going through. And when they admitted certain things to each other and they said, I understand now, it was almost as if somebody, and Tone, we had this conversation in Scruffy Fox a little bit, comment section earlier this morning. And it wasn't until they had to stop, feel, listen to each other, understand, not just say, I understand, and you're listening with your lips, but understand what this person is going through, why this person is going through this, how people look at this person. And once they understood it, they dropped immediately where they were, and they were back into their original bodies. And then they were very good friends afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, just trip out on that. That is how I'm viewing society right now. Not one motherfucker out here wants to stop. And you don't have to have a fucking answer for everything.
Right.
You don't have to say something. But if somebody wants to stop and have a conversation, fucking just sit there and listen.
If you got
I mean, this ain't going to be for like every ideal situation.
Right.
These are going to be the situations you actually set yourself up for. You're consciously aware.
And you're listening.
You're going to shut your mouth and you're going to try to figure out what you can't learn from the conversation.
Right.
And as soon as that person is exhausted and they've dumped their emotions and they've explained what they're going through in every different avenue that they wanted to express to you, and you were quiet the entire time, is only then when you can speak and say, okay, man, I've learned so much from the conversation. No way in hell you don't come out of this conversation not learning something or feeling something for someone.
If you're listening.
If you're listening.
If you're listening.
I think that's the bigger issue is that you know, to be honest, we all have time to listen, right? But there's always that thing where I don't know if you don't feel like listening, or you don't want to listen until you need somebody to fucking listen to you. If you're conscious of it,
If
right?
you're conscious.
I like to think when I'm passing people, my brother and I, we've gone out and we've done this study. We've gone out, we've interviewed people, and we just approach them and say, hey, would you mind coming on camera? We have just a couple questions to ask you. It's a social experiment, and we just want to gauge to see where people are with themselves. And we would ask them, the first question would be, who are you outside of your name? That'd be the first question. The ones that participated. The ones that didn't, they turned their nose up to us. They said, no, I don't have time. Some were nice. Majority were just totally disrespectful
in a rush.
And I thought to myself, well, this is a weekend and we're in a shopping area. What rush are you in if you were in Marshall's for an hour?
God, the modern world keeps us in that rush, man.
Right. What rush are you in when you're just casually walking to your car? If I said I had just a 5-minute question and would you want to participate in a social experiment, what part of you says, I don't want to be a part of your social, because I'm in a rush.
Right. It just seems hell-bent that we're geared to not want to speak to each other unless it's a social media setting. That's just how I'm viewing it. We're being geared more and more
To shut ourselves out.
to detach.
Yep.
And to agree with the things we see on social media and how we're supposed to behave and how we're supposed to view the world. It's no wonder why this Frost Soul kid came into the comment box saying what he said.
It goes back to, because went back to the rich and the kind of the poor thing. My kids are in, like, always say it, Mayberry, and even they know, right? When I told you guys last few shows back that I took them to a neighborhood that was less desirable, but still trying to tell them that there is plenty of good people here you can have a conversation with. Like, don't let this area detour you from not thinking people here are just ignorant and they don't care, right? But they could totally see, like, and kids are sharp. I got a 15-year-old and an 11-year-old, and they can totally see the contrast. They see it. So if there's a kid with a silver spoon in its mouth at 11 years old, and he goes to could you imagine this? He goes to a inner city school, has to live in a lower impoverished area, and he has to adapt to that lifestyle.
Right.
After knowing where he came from. The opposite of Tony.
Do you think it brings an individual down? If you came from status and all of a sudden you have to go to a lower lifestyle, do you think that brings everything down about an individual? I mean, you have to lower your energy?
No, it's in the eye of the beholder. If you're brought low, the only person who cares is you. The people you meet out in the street don't know you've been brought low.
Right.
They look at you as just another person.
Yeah, as them.
And when you do go out into the world and you see someone that you can tell was brought low, you typically don't look at them and go, ugh.
Right.
You feel for them. You might be nice to them. You might not. You feel it. You think about it. You feel for them a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that more of a social norm? You think 60% of the population, I'm going to say fuck that. You think 80% of the population is just that, the social norm of like middle class to poor?
I mean, the numbers say that it is. I think it might even be a bigger percentage than that. It's been a while since I've really analyzed that kind of.
So I'm with my brother
information.
then. I'm with my brother then. Coming from a richer status down to middle class or below, I think that's fucking way worse culture shock because you don't know how to fit in, right? You don't know even how to probably maybe say bargain shop or get the lesser, what they would say, lesser quality foods at the grocery store, but you'll learn real quick. Right? You'll find out real quick what it's like to be, I'm going to say, normal.
Roy says that 98% of the country is poor.
I just saw that. So here's the thing with that. And while, compared to what isn't poor, yes. The issue becomes the people at the far ends of the spectrum, of that poor spectrum, because, you know, it's almost to a point now where a 6-figure salary is just not wealthy at all anymore, which is crazy.
That's crazy
to think about.
Right.
The imbalance.
I remember my mom saying, if I can make $40,000 a year, I'm in good shape.
Right.
And that was with 2 kids being single that she was saying that. Could you imagine trying to live off of 40 grand a year in America right now with 2 kids and no other income? And pay a mortgage, child support, school clothes? Ugh.
It's it's definitely a hard thing, but I think the contrast, and you guys may disagree, but I think the contrast is balanced for rich and poor right now. I also saw an article that we're losing millionaires at a phenomenal rate. You know,
How so? Like they're getting richer, like they're losing their money.
They're actually losing their money because of the billionaires.
Yes.
And the trillionaires.
A millionaire isn't
what it used to be
at all.
It's like middle class all of a sudden, and it's vanishing.
Yeah.
You know, it drew this weird polarity on private industries and how private industries are, you know, taking up a lot of wealth out of countries, and they're unchecked, and they don't have balance. And I kind of believe when Roy Droy says 98% of.
I mean, that's what I see. I don't.
The world is in poverty.
Right.
It's hard not to see that.
Right.
And when you do the math, yes.
And sometimes not even the math. Just drive around your neighborhood. Right. Take long drives. Go and even do that. Go to a wealthy neighborhood, and I bet you in five minutes in either direction, you right out of that shit.
Okay, everybody in the comment section, riddle me this. You have billions of dollars, just the word alone. Even if there was 200-300 people that had billions of dollars in one country, they can't spend it in their lifetime.
No, they can't.
Why on God's green earth would you sit by and watch poverty and watch people living on the streets and watch people deface architecture that's been around for years and watch people on drugs that you know there's no war on? Watch people consume alcohol at a alarming, dangerous rate because of the environment they live in. Like, who sits there with any type of fucking heart and goes, you know what? I'm not going to spend not even an eighth of this money, and it's better off in someone else's hands when I die. But I'd be damned if I give a little bit
To someone else.
to bring this world back on its feet. I mean, what type of fucking mindset is that?
I'll never understand it.
I'll never understand it. And then do we also know that last I checked, there was a lot of billionaires, right? These Fortune 500 companies. Like, I think someone said it, there's enough billionaires and trillionaires to go around to get the whole world out of poverty.
There is. The way I understand it, yeah, there is. There's an amazing, like, number of things we could do, and it's hard to even like look at the whole world. Just look at. I want to just look at America because it's the world I live in, and it's the easiest to pull examples from. But there's enough money in the country that is not being tapped for taxes to put homeless in homes, feed hungry people, do all the stuff,
necessities,
forget more than necessities.
Yes.
And instead, we all fight about where we want our the little bit of tax money that we get taken out of our paychecks should go to, and we literally have to fight over it. We could have.
Trinity to the Liver says, I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but some people are lazy. I offer jobs to people I know that were doing poorly financially who turn it down because they didn't want to work hard.
Yeah.
Been in that situation too. And that is a very true statement, Trader.
Right.
So don't feel like you're being an asshole.
You're not.
Right. That's a factual statement.
There are just lazy fucking people.
But it's and you know, we have those. And I guess the gripe is if there's hundreds and I'm going to say thousands of billionaires out there, it's not about the lazy asshole at this point. It's about redistributing the wealth and having some sort of balance in this world where humanity should not be living like this.
Recon says those billionaires discussions are so silly. They don't sit there with billions in the bank. It's all invested.
Yeah.
It's businesses or what you have. It's being used to fuel the economy. I believe a big portion of it is fueling the economy, but
there's another portion.
There's more than enough money there.
Right.
Right. And it's
to
going
end a lot of bullshit.
Yeah, and it's going to fuel an economy that is largely, at least that money, is going to fuel an economy that's largely smoke and mirrors and not helping anyone out except those people. And that's where the issue is. Sure, the economy's doing great. How much are eggs in your neighborhood? How much is a gallon of milk?
Yeah.
How much is it?
The petrol
how much is
dollar.
a tank of gas? Why are we still even using fucking gas?
Yeah, the petrol dollar
We don't
is
need
the
to be.
almighty dollar, right?
But we need it.
But but the petrol dollar also, like what Tone says, you don't know what the petrol dollar is going to. It definitely is not going to renewable sources and energy to get us off the dependency of fucking.
No, why would it?
Because
you can't sell it.
Well,
Exactly.
because right now there's no answers. Literally.
Right.
Despite what you think about big oil,
Right.
they sit in Marilyn and I just watched something on this.
I know you told us all about it.
They sit and they try to come up with a way that will get us off of oil into a sustainable energy source that we don't have to crash our heads on.
Okay.
And believe me, they're spending hundreds of thousands on think tanks because they know this one thing: oil is running out.
Well, that's the reason, though.
And
That's
if
the
there's
only
hold
reason.
on,
It's
hold
the
on.
only reason.
And if there's anyone who wants to capitalize on the energy source first, it is the big oil company.
Of course.
They want to transition themselves off of oil and onto the next biggest thing that they can kind of keep their little dirty hands on.
Right.
Right? But until that happens,
They're still dirty.
it's going to be what it's going to be.
They still have to raise and lower the gas prices. They still keep their corrupted dollars to fuel their agenda through bureaucracy and fucking lobbyists.
But they're not stupid.
They're smart as hell because we're all gullible to take their shit.
They realize the economy has to run.
Yeah, but
they realize they have to give something back, or it's all like, what use is a world when you don't have any consumers?
But that goes for all the fucking billionaires out there that have some sort of good over the consumers. You can like they say with AI. AI can take all the.
Well, I'm not fighting you.
No.
I'm just giving you a different look as to what things are being portrayed and how they're being shown, but no one really wants to dive in.
And I get
Yeah.
that. And I'm not saying you are, but I'm saying even with the whole AI debacle, if AI is going to take all the jobs, if they don't put something in place, AI is just going to take 80% of the jobs. And those same people you speak about, they say things like, oh, it's going to make life easier. But how easier would it be for those billionaires if no one can buy their product?
So that's a good point. I've brought that up in other conversations with friends that I feel are smarter about this shit than I am. I remember saying to my buddy that was the high school teacher that now is the accountant, I was like, what are they going to do when we can't spend money?
Mm-hmm.
And he said two things. He said, one, they're not all the smartest people in the world just because they make a lot of money. And I was like,
Right.
yeah, obviously I agree with that. I understand that. He said, the second thing is that is not, or at least it wasn't at the time when we talked about this years ago, that is not a next week problem. That is a next century problem.
Oh, hand it down, passing down the buck.
Yeah, it's a matter of if you're a 60-year-old, conglomerate owning billionaire,
Yeah.
what do you got 20, 30 years before you kick the bucket if you're lucky. Like, the fuck do you care? Make money and enjoy life. That's how they feel about it. It's not an old man's game to think about the future. It should be. They should look back on their life and go, hey, I lived great. I would love for the people that come after me to continue to live this way. But it's not. It's, what can I do to continue to have fun now? It's like an old athlete, They're not trying to make the game easier for the rookies. They're trying to hit that 500th home run so they can get into the Hall of Fame.
Listen to this. This is a human AI driven probability that was asked into AI on how the world will look if humanity and AI set a utopic landscape and sought out the best of AI and humanity. You guys ready for this?
Yeah. Shoot it. I mean, this is just going to be
We're just
a variable. But
yes, it's a variable, but it's also a possibility,
okay.
right?
I'm okay.
Okay. So this is what the morning looks
I
like.
just get suspect with AI, but
And
okay,
that's
go
fine.
ahead. Go ahead.
But you got to listen to
Yeah,
it, right?
for sure.
You don't have to, but
Right.
so this is what the morning looks like.
This guy, Tony.
This is what the morning looks like with human and AI working together in a utopic mindset. Morning time. People wake up to calm environments where nature and technology are in sync. Clean air, renewable energy, powering homes, and AI assistance gently easing people into the day. AI helps plan the meals that are nutritious, sustainable, and tailored to each person's health needs. No one wakes up stressed about survival or basic needs. Food, water, shelter, health care, all that is guaranteed. This is what the midday looks like. Work feels like a passion project. Instead of jobs driven by survival, people contribute in ways that align with their strengths. AI handles repetitive, draining tasks, freeing humans for creative problem solving and community building. Education is personalized and lifelong, so people learn not just skills, but wisdom, empathy, philosophy, and self-mastery. Here's the afternoon. Communities thrive with the collaboration. AI helps balance resources, distribution fairly, ensuring equity without waste. Compassion is woven into systems. No one is left behind, as both humans and AI uphold fairness in governance, healthcare, and law. Technology strengthens humans' connection rather than replace it, fostering gathering arts and shared creations. This is what our evening looks like. People spend more time outdoors with loved ones, not chained to screens. AI can help AI can help mediate conflicts with neutrality, reminding humans of compassion when emotions run high. Balance is visible. Work, rest, play, and learn all coexist without burnout. Here's what our night looks like. As the world quiets, AI ensures safety, sustainability, and resource harmony. People reflect with gratitude, knowing their contributions matter but without anxiety about scarcity. Dreams are not only personal, but collective. Humans imagine together what to grow into the next.
Is that all of it?
I mean,
That sounds
That's
like
all of
some
it?
Fallout 4 shit if I ain't never heard it.
no,
You know what it sounds like to me?
Huh.
That sounds like remove every bit of the mention of AI out of that and give
Mm-hmm.
everyone in the world a 50% pay increase. That's what life would be like.
But
If you could just afford
Mm-hmm.
to do, like, honestly, a lot of that sounds like how I try to live my life now.
Mm-hmm.
And I know how lucky I am to be in the situation I'm in. And I still have to work hard and I still have to work. Otherwise, I'll lose all of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm in a spot where I can at least try to live that way. And just a little, whether it be a economic landscape where life is actually affordable or a pay increase that makes it so it's actually affordable, that's how we could all be living our lives.
Yeah, I mean, it's in.
And we don't need AI.
We 100%. So I guess, like you said, and I'm a big fan of that. But like Absurd TV is with me. Sometimes I feel this way. Sometimes I just think it's one big pipe dream because I don't think you can ever cure humanity's greedy, luscious, lust-filled, sinful,
yeah.
negative side of our polarity.
It
Like,
would
I
take
don't-
a sea change in humanity for
A
that.
sea
I totally
change.
agree with that.
a sea
But
change.
are we trying?
But that's the thing.
Absolutely not.
Okay, so but
Trader to the Living can't even find a fucking
soul to work.
an apprentice. We can't even find an apprentice. Like you're looking at the last of the last farriers.
I mean, but is it going to take something? I mean, obviously we're building AI, and with Sam Altman and all of these guys, if they're not putting restrictions on it, they do. I would be remiss if they didn't know what the possibilities are if they just let AI continue the way it's going. So at some point, it's going to happen where we're going to have to share our humanity with what we constructed.
The people making these softwares are just futurists. They're not looking to help anyone. They're just looking on a way to capitalize on the next way to make money.
It's an agenda. There's
Yeah,
always,
yeah. It's just like I want to monopolize before that market even exists, and that's all they're trying to do. They even have countries fighting over that exact thing.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Okay.
And Absurd is right. It starts at the fucking top.
Right.
It's the greed that we have. If we don't have balance in the world and it gets out of control, there will, I'm going to say, be 100% uprising.
Yeah. Okay.
If the poor becomes more than fucking 60, 70%,
Yeah.
we have no choice but to uprise.
Okay, here's some critical thinking. Everybody right now comment in the comment section, Tone. Critical thinking time. Give me one solution to all of this. Give me one solution to get this to crack off the right way. With every great change, there has to be the initial solution. I'm not asking you give me all of the solutions.
Just one.
What's the solution that kicks this off?
I'm
That
with-
kicks this game off right?
I'm with Tony. Balance. You got to have balance. You have to level the playing field.
Okay, but that's not the solution to kick it off.
You asked
Like
for
that-
you asked for my opinion.
Okay, but how would you get there? How would you get to? That's what I'm saying. How do you get there? What's the first stepping stone that people go and fight for?
You fight for some sort of maybe some sort of UBI rights where people can easily expunge all fucking debt. Be the first thing.
Okay, now that's a plausible thing.
Expunge all debt.
Okay, but what if that happens in the form of a solar flare?
then we don't have any of this construct.
Right? What if that comes? Hold on. What if that comes in the form of someone hacking the systems and we're in cyber warfare.
You're throwing a lot of variables out.
No, these are right on board with what you're saying. I'm just giving you the variables in which they can happen. The people can ask for a reset. There could be a hacker that hacks into the U.S. everything and resets. There could be a solar flare that brings all the satellites back home as a financial reset.
That'll be just a whole world reset.
So given the variable of how the reset starts, puts on a different chain.
I see what
reaction.
you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Okay.
It could be a catastrophe of something that can reset.
But to go off what you said,
right.
If we ask for the reset, then people are aware not to be in disarray, set things on fire, murder, mayhem. The lights are never coming back on. We all agreed we're going to go into a revolutionary reset. Everyone's debt is wiped clear. If you're in the apartment you're in, the home you're in, wherever you're in there, that's not going to be affected. The only thing that is happening is everyone's financial everything.
Their hardship is expunged.
You keep all the money in your savings. You keep all the money in your checkings and in your safe, in your wallets. If you even have that, you keep it all. In return, the entire world is going to reset everyone's debt. Is that a way to at least get to the negotiating table?
All right, let's read and see what people have come up with.
Let us know. I could be way off here.
Let me ask, have you watched a television show called Mr. Robot?
Yes.
Yeah, we used to watch that.
Did you watch all of it?
Yes,
No, I did.
I have. Yes.
So that's a big thing in that show.
That's
It's about a hacker.
That's where I pull it from. Just so you know.
and it's interesting because it's way too fast to change. You see what happens when that change happens. When someone goes and literally just deletes all the debt in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You watch the powers that existed prior just exerting more power, tightening their grip, doing everything they can to keep it or get it back to the way it was.
Mm-hmm.
And when that fails, they do the futurist thing and they just figure out the next way to monopolize. And it, to a point, works. It's not fully what the show is about, so spoilers, but go watch it anyway. It's probably the best television show that ever existed.
I'll catch up on it. Yep.
It works, the exact scenario you're talking about, but it can't happen like that. It needs to be the kind of thing that happens over time, because there is that knee-jerk reaction like, oh, I've got no consequences. I'm going to go rape and pillage. Let's knock over the buildings and light the things on fire because you can. You want to change the world that way, you need to start by educating everyone equally. You need to start by regulating business equally, and if taxes are the way to make the money to make this happen, you need to tax everyone equally. And we don't do those three things in this world. We haven't in a long fucking time. Maybe ever.
Yeah, Cressy, I would imagine it would have to be a vote. It would have to be a democracy.
Well, okay, but here's the thing: if we're posing that tone, if we're posing like what he just said, it's going to be a vote. It'll be a democracy, and everybody happens to vote yes. What people in power, how are they going to respond to this? There must be something in line like,
it can't all be fathom.
Tightening the grip.
There must be something in line like, okay, either we're going to go to war with ourselves, not buy any of your fucking products, watch everything burn, or you give us what we want. Because I don't see them agreeing to this shit easily. Because who's going to be in control of this shit?
But this is no difference from students asking every president out there from every fucking presidency, expunge our debt.
Okay, but like I'm saying, who's going to be in control of this?
There's only like 20
The
of them,
Treasury.
guys.
I guess the Treasury would have to be in control of it.
We're putting the power back into the same people that are fucking us in the
How
long
do I?
run.
There it is.
Oh shit. Right?
And yo,
That's another thing. Mind control.
how come, Tony? We just don't uprise, take over it all, and say now we're running shit.
It's funny too. Is like you don't even need to work that hard to do it. I mean, you read those reports or you read the stories about the reports that exist in big governments that are like, well, if 3% of the country all goes on strike at once in a day,
See you, Tracy.
the economy falls apart.
Right.
The power, the dressings of power just melt away.
Tone, do me a favor and read some of the chat's ideas.
I know. I'm having too much fun over here making political memes. I should
we
really
got to
read what
stop
people are
and
saying.
yeah, we got to stop.
Sorry,
and,
guys.
Let's address
and address chat because I'm sure they got some ideas on how they would go about
need to go
this
back
shit.
actually.
Trade it a living. Let's turn it off and back on again. I love that.
Turn it.
Well, he's a power,
Power
guy,
cycle,
so-
no problem.
Yeah,
but he-
power cycle,
yeah,
power cycle.
He's a Sparky, so I mean that's something an electrician would say.
Donald Duck, I do not think we are overpopulated.
No.
We're overpopulated for the
room on this planet.
we're overpopulated for the system we are working within right now. But in reality, no, far from it.
No.
Far from it. Me too. We got a lot
Yeah,
of
we
resources.
could do a lot of renewable sources here. Yeah.
Regulations on AI, 100%. Let's do that.
regulations on
That's-
AI.
that's first and
That's
foremost.
fundamental. We're going to need that. If we're
Look,
going to survive.
this thing cannot take over jobs. This is only to be used as a tool.
Yep.
Period.
Like that article
Period.
I read, assisting, not
Right.
taking over. What else you got, Tone?
We should have been nicer to Maryland.
That's probably Cresshead.
How do you hack the Pentagon with a 1200 baud modem?
Yeah, how do you hack
Chrome.
that?
So funny. They're
Chrome,
probably,
wait a
they're
minute.
probably still on DOS over
Wait
there.
a minute. Let's stay there. Let's stay there, Chrome. Is it possible for a terrorist organization to take down the U.S. banking
Or the Pentagon,
installation?
like you said, or the Pentagon. Can you take down a Pentagon?
Dude, a fucking housing market almost took down the banking system in America in 2008.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
It doesn't take a whole lot.
That's
true.
The right push in the right way at the right time can change the world.
Okay, Chrome says yes and no.
You can, but for how long? Maybe.
I mean, how real
jumped.
are these cyber attacks? Go ahead, Tom.
I'm sorry. I was just I'm trying to read what everyone was saying in the text.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
kind of jumped and I got
No, go
lost.
ahead, Tone.
Oh, I had nothing. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, like, find us some more if you.
Okay.
Yeah.
The rich are bony and chewy and lack real flavor. I think they're marbled.
Yeah.
They probably taste great.
good. I would Tone 100%. My cannibalistic ways are.
Tone, the Maryland says you still need better training. You need to read these things out loud, not to yourself.
Fair. I'm just trying to find the good ones. I don't want to say
Yeah. He's
something.
Well,
dumb.
read them all because everybody's.
Everybody has a
But
voice.
I get it.
Unless it's Chrome.
People are throwing shit out there.
Chrome
yeah.
will be trolling.
Yeah, they're.
You got to watch out for Chrome. Chrome will troll you
Top
into a fucking hole.
Here we go. Top captains of industry openly say they don't care if AI destroys the world. They'll make money. And that's what I'm saying. They don't care.
Who said that?
War Hard Arts did.
Yeah.
They are not looking at next year's problem. They're looking at tomorrow's problem. Tomorrow's problem to them is how do I line my pockets?
Right. I agree 100%. Yeah, Roy was right. I mean, Roy knows where I'm getting at with that vote. If we're doing this vote, we can't put it back in the same motherfucker's hands. We have to, you know what I'm saying? Like we're going to have to establish a whole new line of command, a whole new chain of command.
Yeah, a whole new department.
Crest is asking, what's my number? Overpopulated Earth, 8.4 billion currently. Now, don't get me wrong. There are places in the world that are extremely overpopulated. I have
Right.
no idea
India,
how they
yeah.
fit all those people in India.
India.
That shit is crazy.
Right. China
But,
too.
but like, have you been to Nebraska? I mean, Cress hasn't. Have you two
Right.
been to Nebraska?
Yes,
there is
yeah.
fucking nothing in Nebraska.
Dakota,
but
Wyoming.
but there's a lot of people there. You just wouldn't know it.
Are they living under the grass? Because that's all I saw when I was in Nebraska.
It's just so vast, though. You
Right.
know, it's
One
just,
scientist said there's enough of there's so much of an abundance on this planet just in the ocean alone to feed way more people. And with the ingenuity of science and agricultural scientists, and we now have the means to fortify our own nutrition.
So Donald Duck says, should people live everywhere? And no, I don't think they should. I think there should be, I mean, of course, there's inhabitable places or places that are very difficult to live, but and I forget where Donald Duck is in the world, but in America, there's a huge push over the last 15 years or so to move to the desert, and it doesn't make sense to me. It's not sustainable to live in a place like Phoenix, Arizona,
With no water.
as a society,
Right.
not as a, hey, I want to go live there for a few years.
Right.
Um,
No to the Amazon for sure, because we need our trees.
Well, I mean, Warhart Art saying, shit, we put in people on Mars.
right.
And the people that don't live in it or don't like it talk a lot of shit about it. And I get it, because it can be a stressful place. But a place like New York City, as dirty and terrible as it can be, as pushy as the people can be, so on and so forth, it's one of the only places in the western half of the world. I'm sorry, that's not the Western Hemisphere, west of the Atlantic Ocean,
Right.
where you can live and not have to drive a car. We don't need to live in a neighborhood like the neighborhood I live in, where the next house in each direction is 30, 40 feet away, if not more. We could live with less expensive, sustainable public transportation in cleaner, easier to get around places. I wish that I could just like walk to get my groceries, and I can't. I have to get in my car and drive. I wish I could walk to get to my local library. I can't. I have to get in and drive. And I don't live in a big town, but there are plenty of big towns where you do have to do those things.
Right.
And it's unnecessary. And we're just, as a society, building infrastructure around separation of people. There are places where vertical farming is becoming a thing, and it's super interesting, and it's a way to bring food to larger population sources that are living up instead of out. And
Maybe that's what we need too. And I'm for that, right? Maybe we need to make sure that everybody has the means to grow their own garden in their dwelling. You know,
Right.
maybe maybe that's not so radical to think. Yeah, we can still rely on farmers, but yes, you can have an hydroponics or a greenhouse, and
Sure.
you too can cut down on some of the strain. Right. And then we have this. Here's the other thing, like Ayer was saying, you move to a desert, you're already drinking the water shelf down to it's nothing. But
Right.
yet we have the means to
Reverse osmosis.
with the ocean. We are 72% water on this planet. And to say we don't have enough water with our smarts to, drink and have, food, and it's retarded. We can spend billions on oil, but we don't want to spend billions on osmosis of the water. What is it? What is it?
reverse osmosis.
Reverse osmosis of our fucking ocean.
Someone made a funny joke. Oh, Warhart made a funny joke. I live 130 miles from the nearest marijuana dispensary. I need a car.
Yes.
So, but like, what's to say that, like, I have a neighbor 2 houses down that's
Grow
got
your own
a
shit.
crazy, what I would call a guinea garden, growing in his backyard. So tomatoes, a couple of like lettuce plants, spices, peppers, stuff like that. If it's similar to the commune idea that we had talked about the last time. You guys were talking about, like, if we could start a commune, would you do it? And I was like,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
100%.
Right.
You can do a lot within your community that we all spend money to outsource via car and truck, when you can just walk across the street and get it also.
Mm-hmm.
If everyone was willing to pitch in that way. I think there are communities across the world where people are doing just that because they're going, fuck this noise. I can grow enough tomatoes in my backyard to supply me and my 3 neighbors and, my sibling that lives a mile away. I'm just going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And not have to buy that thing.
Right.
Probe says, I don't really have I just can't. It's hard for me to read that. What did
Which
Probe
one are
say?
you looking at?
You need to live close to people to develop acceptance of others.
Yeah, that's true.
I like living in the outskirts, though.
Yeah, but you need people, right?
Yeah, but
I'm
know
not
your
saying
neighbors?
you don't. I'm not saying you don't.
You know your neighbors, don't you?
I
Yeah.
do. I do.
Yeah, you need that.
Mm-hmm.
You would know more neighbors if the neighbors were closer to you. And I get how you like being out there and alone. But
Right. But I think society conditioned me to want to do that.
it did. Because
You know,
you lived in a place where you lived on top of your neighbors.
Yes.
And it wasn't a good situation.
Right.
What if the guy across the street was growing corn and sold it to everyone on the block for $1 for 6 years? What if the guy next door to that had 1 cow that was supplying enough milk for half the block at $1 a gallon?
Right.
I mean, these are bad examples.
No,
honestly,
they're not.
But they're not. We're just
As-
conditioned to think that fucking way. That's what I'm saying.
In the abstract, if
In
you
the
can
abstract.
if you can get what you need to live close, and you don't have to go far for it, a lot of those trappings of life kind of fall away
Mm-hmm.
that we don't need.
Yeah. Trader to the Living says, I want to be as far away from people as possible. And I'm the same way, but I have to ask you this, Trader, like,
You depend on us.
Did
all do.
society make you want to do that? Society made me want to get away from people because things just seem to be going to shit.
And it's not get away. It's just get away for the time being because we still rely on each other.
Right. I still like to drive to the city.
Yeah.
And hang out and go to the restaurants and, you know, but I do agree with what Tone is saying at the same time. Like if, a lot of these things, they've built these constructs to where we're dependent on these things. We're dependent on fossil fuels. We're hell bent on the segregation of people. Why on God's green earth do we want you to be together? It's God damn it, I want you out of the house at the age of 18. Secure your own shit. Where Hispanic families are like, we stick together. We buy a house, we buy another one.
There are people of an age in this community, maybe not in this chat, maybe, but people in the community that lived in a world where the way we live now, like, wasn't necessary. And it's not necessary now. But it is if you are the one making the money off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that bothers me all the time.
Yeah, people in India generally accept the hustle and bustle because that's their lifestyle, right? They don't know any different. I bet you if you brought some of those people to fucking, like we just said, Nebraska and told them to work in this small town, they'd be like, what the fuck is going on here?
The same
Why
way
is everybody not moving in?
The same way my friends that have lived here where I live in this town of 3,500-ish people, county of 100,000-ish people, have lived all their life. When I talk to them about what it was like to live on Long Island and live in New York City, and they're like, I would never want to do that. I'm like, you have no clue what the differences are, like what you would benefit from and what you would not benefit from. Mm-hmm. And oh man, what were we talking about? The just getting around. Long Island is a shipping black hole. You know how like we all pay for 2-day shipping or next day shipping for stuff?
Mm-hmm.
That only exists there if the goods are there already.
Right.
Because of how annoying it is to get into and through New York City onto Long Island proper with freight. It takes about an extra day. That is just like, it's just the way it's always been. We don't need the Veruca Salt I want it now lifestyle, except for the fact that we've been conditioned that we should and can have it. Mm-hmm. I was talking to a friend here about that specifically, and he was like, well, why don't they just like put a shipping hub in this place? And I'm like, well, they have. He's like, I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to him that an amount of space that is vastly more concentrated in people than where he lives can't just like live the way he's lived his whole life because he lives here where there's open space and not people.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't understand the logistics of those logistics, and it didn't make sense to him. And I couldn't get through to him that it's an impossibility.
Right.
Chrome's right. New York City is easy to get around when you know how. But if you're in a 53-foot trailer filled with junk from Amazon that needs to get to the people in the houses, like,
Yep.
it could take you 4 hours to get from New Jersey to Queens, and it's like a 7-mile, as the crow flies, trip.
Right.
wow.
Maybe less.
Yeah.
And it could take half your day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
It is. It becomes unsustainable. So, like, the point I'm really getting at is, like, we don't need it. And I like all my fancy technology, and I like the things that I can buy. I do everything I can to try to buy them sustainably. I try to buy them locally. I try to not participate in this nonsense that we've been talking about as hard as I can. It takes up a lot of my energy.
It does.
My friends that I talk to about it are like, "Why do you bother?"
Yeah.
It's what I can do.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, it's going to come down to the individual at the end of the day.
Yeah, you got to make this decision to do it.
But one thing is for sure, ladies and gentlemen, we all subscribe to this.
Oh yeah.
And it affects us because we're living it.
And if we didn't subscribe to this, we have the means, like the meme Tony put up.
I still
We
have
have the means to consume the people who put us in anguish.
But it always, to me, I find myself baffled by it because I'm one of those people. We are just comfortable in this lifestyle because no one wants that type of stress and worry. The fear will keep you complacent. The fear of if we do an uprising, if shit goes south, how would I get food from the store? Am I going to be safe? Is someone going to come to my house? Like I know a lot of the scenarios, even these doomsday bunker people.
The Dooms preppers.
The doom prep, they know about it.
See,
a lot of us know about it, but
and
it's
you or
the
me are
fear.
better off because of the place we live. I can get locally grown food.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
I can drive 15 minutes and get a half a cow that was butchered yesterday.
But if we don't think about those that cannot readily get this,
I agree. I agree.
You know, it's because that's a part of us. Because they'll want our resources.
Yeah, they will. There was another point I was going to make. What the fuck was it? I'm not going to remember. I'm sorry.
No, you're
No,
fine.
you're good.
But that's the point of thinking. Like, and this is why we come up with militias, and this is why, you know what I'm saying? Humans won't, even if we brought down this system that we're so tired of, how long do we give it until pockets of resistance and militias start, and it starts all back over? It's not like we're going to get rid of this system and become kumbaya and everybody's going to just start providing for each other. We're going to fight our way through this and have the planet we wanted. I don't put that much faith in humanity.
I think it's clear to me that the only way we're going to have a change on this planet is if the people did it in a controlled manner. We don't want a catastrophic incident.
We don't want a meltdown.
We don't want, somebody hacking and sending everybody into anarchy.
I just want to see a general strike. I want to see 5 to 10% of the population say, "Fuck this" for a few
That'd
days.
be more than enough.
That'd be more than
It,
enough.
it would be
10%
more.
would
It
be
would be
more
more
than
than enough.
Yeah.
And that really is all it takes.
And it's
Will catch
not
like
hard.
wildfire.
and it's
People are
just-
angry.
right, and it's just
Just
balance.
not angry enough.
And it's just balance.
All we're
that's
asking
all.
for.
That's it. That's all we need is balance.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
And it's not to say that, I don't like law and order and I don't like capitalism. I love it. I just think it's ran by the wrong people.
Right.
It's runaway.
It's runaway.
Total runaway.
Like I'm very of the argument of we need a whole different system, but I'm also not opposed to this point at trying to go about the one we have a very different way.
The one we have works, Tony.
It just needs balance.
It's like Trader to the Living said. There's just some lazy fucking people out there.
A lot of regulation could go a long way.
Yeah.
Right. And people don't have accountability. They just don't give a fuck.
But it's outside of lazy people. That's just for the keeping the, if the balances were correct and everything was balanced,
right,
those lazy people, you wouldn't have to worry about
They'd be
them.
so small and insignificant.
I think they're different problems. One is a symptom of the other. In my opinion.
Right. And that's the same problem that makes me want to move to the rural area.
But you're not escaping the problem.
I'm not. But
in fact, it's following you.
Yeah. But that's the symptom that I imagine you're talking about, Tony. It's hitting people in different areas where it's driving people to want to separate from ground zero.
Well, I often think about this past few months.
Yeah, we'll see you, Cressy. We're going to get off here shortly.
Yep. These past few months
Later,
where I've witnessed Nepal, I've witnessed France, and I'm witnessing the UK. And I'm looking at all these uprisings, right? These mass protests. They're even starting here. At some point, it's going to have to catch on like a wildfire.
Yeah, people aren't.
And it just can't
heard.
be the United States.
Right. People aren't being heard, and people want to be heard. And if you don't listen to the people, you're going to get your pot boiling. And if you're a chef, you don't want the pot boiling.
No, and that's what you're saying right now is essentially exactly what Royd's trying to say. The people have been fools. Once they realize it, they will react. Intelligent people have to guide that reaction to improve our existence. I agree. The people in power are mostly trying to keep the intelligent people that have a little bit of power quiet and make them look like crazies to keep that argument from becoming a reality. Donald Duck keeps saying, and then what? What do we do next? I wouldn't scream revolution if I haven't got a clue what should replace it or how to evolve into it. I would love to just say, burn it all down and give me Star Trek, but even that is exactly what you're saying. You don't get there, like I said earlier, you don't get there like that. You gotta,
it has to be a slow
you gotta
drip
ramp
feed.
up to it. Yeah, you gotta, that curve's gotta go up slowly.
But this has to be a bipartisan curve. Like this has to be something that's so in unison. There is no divide on it.
Right. And you got to transition education. You got to transition people into the right employment in which it's just a whole lot of transitions that need to take place.
And even to get on that aspect, you have to change the fucking line of the chain of command. You can't have these evil sons of bitches nowhere near this.
Yeah.
It has to be someone of a collective mind that has a unilateral agreement on the direction that humanity needs to go.
And this is our foundation, and it cannot be obstructed. And if it makes sense to add things on, and it would make sense, but this is locked in. You know, whatever this situation looks like, it has to be locked in where it can never be tampered with again, or it's just going to fall apart. Look at Rome. Rome fell apart.
So this is exactly what I'm just about to point out. Warhart says plenty of great societies reach this tipping point. They collapsed and burnt. And he's right. The thing that's left over typically is the people. So if our system crashes and burns, yes, there's going to be plenty of suffering. But in general, what is left is a population that needs to find a new way.
Yes.
And we'll find a new way because time doesn't stop. Chrome says Rome's grasp exceeded its reach. Don't you kind of think modern society's grasp is exceeding its reach?
Yeah.
You know, and
I felt like that for a long time.
And they stopped having babies too. That was that's the biggest reason why Rome fell. They stopped having kids. I just heard this shit.
We're stopping to have kids.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean. The sentence wasn't
I
correct,
know.
but you know what I mean.
Right.
Because nobody wants to bring a child into this bullshit and add to their struggle. Like I said, if you have control over the people and you ignore that we exist, like Roy says, you're going to get a bowl of shit soup that you'll be forced to eat. Boiled shit soup.
We're already eating it now just fine. We're happy. We're happy. You know what? And I don't think people are blind to it. I just think people, they're not going to move unless something big makes them move or gives them empowerment to jump in and go, yeah, now's my time to participate. And maybe that's right, Tony. Maybe it takes 10 or 20% of the population to start that process.
I hope we can try. I would like to see other options.
Shit. Well, he just cued the rabbit hole coming to an end for now.
This was fun.
It was a great time, honestly. And it's good to be back in the seat. It's good to have Tony back in the seat with us. It's good to have you guys here with us, giving us your best insight, best foot forward to try to combat some of life's most
We need solutions.
brain-racking problems.
We need solutions.
We
people.
need solutions.
Okay, Thursday we have Third Ear.
We got who's coming?
Who's joining us? Does anybody?
Simon?
Simon will be here Thursday for Third Ear.
Fat Dad.
With upstate, downstate, and symptoms of reality for a Third Ear conversation.
Where we break down your music so we can figure out what the hell's going on in your mind when you made this particular hearsay track.
I can't wait for Simon to come on Thursday. This is going to be
Yeah, he's an interesting guy.
very interesting.
If you want your music looked at and you want the three of us to dissect it and look into it and ask you questions on what you were thinking and how you came about this melody and what was going on in your life when you came up with it, send that track over. Let the community just eat a little bit off the plate and find out what's going on in your mind.
And before you go any further, Frosty, if you're watching, if you heard any of this, let us know.
Please.
We'd love to hear from you again, man.
Yeah, reach out. But with that said,
yeah, don't forget Popcorn Night
And Popcorn Night.
is back Friday, ladies and gentlemen.
submit your tracks, get them in.
You're not gonna want to miss. I mean, I think somebody is gonna create something so stupid like, how dare Popcorn Night disappears for 2 weeks?
1986, my boys. Nice to have you in here.
Fanuel.
And we don't know if the president is up listening, but if you are,
You're the greatest shield on planet Earth. Anybody else agree with me? Donald Trump is the greatest.
I was talking about the
shield.
S.O.R president.
Oh, you're talking about
Heavy cap.
Yeah, heavy cap. But does anybody else think Donald Trump is the biggest fucking shield? That guy can sell any fucking thing.
Yeah.
Anything to make himself a buck, for sure.
Right?
for real.
Shit. I mean,
He'll
that's what
try anyway.
He was born into this shit.
Yeah. He's a salesman.
He's the perfect president to shill it to you. But yeah, thanks to everybody for coming in. Popcorn Night should be on around 5 o'clock. It may come on earlier, but we shall see.
I have to go. I will be in Arizona for until the 30th. So I won't be here, but I'll be here in spirit.
And in the chat.
And in the chat. Yeah, depending on where I'm at in that plane in that airport, I'll find a way, I suppose.
I might have to get you there early to get back to start Popcorn Night.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
The boss just said 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Oh, there it is. 5:30 with Popcorn Night. You guys heard it. Submit a track. Don't forget, one track, no more than 7 minutes, or multiple tracks that add up to be 7 minutes. So do not send in 2 tracks. We've gotten too big. We can't be sitting here for 3-4 hours on a Friday night. It's just not advantageous.
We get too goddamn hungry.
Don't worry, Merrill. I got you.
Yeah.
All right,
But,
I'm going to eat dinner.
Yeah, for sure.
Peace, everybody.
But thank you, everybody, for showing up, and we'll see you tomorrow.